So I have a question for you. I'm
I'm
curious
scared.
if you should be, but I think it's gonna be really funny. Have you listened to any of the Taylor Swift album?
No, I haven't listened to Taylor Swift in years.
Have you been seeing the banter online about Taylor Swift?
No, no.
There's a lot of banter online. She came out with her new album. It's a
Uh-huh.
moment. The some people are loving it, some people are indifferent. We'll call it that. But the funniest thing to me is I've been seeing people take her album because apparently there's some diss tracks on it. Disclaimer: I haven't listened to it either. I'm just yeah, just it's one of my best friends. She always says like, I really can't mess with my algorithm, so I respect that. I really sit in that boat with her because when you got a good music algorithm, you can't mess with it too much. But I've been seeing these videos online where people are like reciting her quote unquote diss tracks, but it's like not really a diss track. And so I was just curious if you have seen any of it because it's like, yeah, you know that you want to be a boss girl, but I'm making money. Like that's the energy that it gives, and we're like, oh,
What?
yeah.
What? I don't think I know enough to like. That doesn't sound appealing at all. First of all,
No,
now I'm used to like Taylor Swift when she was like a teenager.
country
I think
girl.
I was, yeah, like, I think I was in college, and
Yes.
the like girls that I would travel with when I was a athletic trainer, the like soccer team was like obsessed with her, and so it was like, okay, I'm used to like the like love story Taylor Swift. This, I don't know this woman. I don't know.
I don't know.
That is hilarious though.
We're just in a cultural music moment where I'm like, when did we say that we should start diss tracks in pop music?
I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't know. I think that maybe everybody's trying to find their thing, like as like social media grows and like how like now that what attention can I get and do I need to get spicy? I don't know. That's my only assumption
Yeah.
because Taylor Swift with a diss track, you got to look. Your lane is love stories and teeny bopper life stuff. Like I don't know.
And she
That's
be
your
in her
that's your
bag with
jam.
that. Like
Yeah, I think stay there.
no, stay
I think
there.
that's great, but
Yep,
also I'm not Taylor Swift, so I can't even tell you.
that's true. And she makes a bag, so but it has been quite funny because my TikTok feed is just people like, why are we singing like this? But then we're going like this. I'm like, yeah, honestly, yeah, same. The math does not math for me either, but that's all right.
Okay, I forgot to text you about this, but I wanted to like talk about it here. The other day I was doing chores and my daughter was she asked me like, "Hey, when you were pregnant with me, did you wish that I was a boy?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she was like, "Well, when you were first pregnant, like did you know if you wanted a boy or a girl?" And I was like, I didn't feel either way. And she was like, "Why?" I said, "Well, first of all, I was like, mommy was never supposed to have kids." And that's, we talked about that in episodes before, but I said, so I didn't mind what, I said, I could have had a baby cucumber with eyeballs. And I told her, and I would have been singing the VeggieTale song, you know, and rocking that baby to sleep, so I
Right.
made a joke out of it, but she was like, she felt better about it. But, I said, well, why did you ask that? And she was just like, I see, on like TV shows or things, like she was like, people were saying like, I want to have a boy first. I want to have a girl first. And she was just like, I just wonder why. And I said, well, how does it make you feel right now as a child if I said, I want a boy first? I said, would that make you feel good being my first child and you're a girl? And she was like, no. And I was like, it probably hurts, right? And she was like, yeah. I said, so I want you to embrace that feeling right now. And I said, I want you to remove the idea of growing up and wanting a certain gender first. I said,
So
because
good.
you're going to now, put that feeling out into whatever your body decides to do. I said, because
Yeah.
we can't control that. That's, and I was like, we could break into the lesson of, mommies and daddies and who
Yeah.
determines the gender. Like, we can do that later, but
Yeah.
you can't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
But then it brought in another question of like, she was seeing other people treat brothers and sisters differently.
Hmm.
Now, that doesn't happen here, and that's why she had so many questions.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, but me, like, I have experienced like daughter privilege and son privilege differently from like my perspective, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
all girls, I have all girls. I mean, meaning like me and my sisters. My
Yep.
mom had all girls, and I had the opportunity to live with two brother figures at different times in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, they were not like the product of what I was seeing, in the world, but like they had every option to be the like typical son that gets away with everything.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like I'll get into that later, but it's such a difference how sons are treated and daughters are treated. I would say like in the Black culture. Oh no, I don't even think it's just Black culture. I think across the board,
Yeah.
it's like boys will be boys and like girls are supposed to have a different type of responsibility, and that carries on into how like people carry their relationships.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Like I'm
Yeah.
trying to undo that in my household, but like it's not it's not enough.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot, especially the effects as that you see when people get older.
Mhm.
I also come from, I mean, I've mentioned I come from a mixed household, but it's been predominantly, I've had sisters
Mhm.
in my household. But I have been in close proximity to people who have, brothers and sisters like within their family line. So this
Mhm.
is not about, our previous episode of what we were talking about with like birth order or anything, but more of just like, what does that privilege look like and show up?
Mhm.
And it is, yeah, like I was thinking as you were talking about like women are or like girls have like more sensitivity, and so like it's either like you have the privilege of having it nurtured versus boys, if their
Mhm.
sensitivity it can be like suppressed, right? So
Mhm.
I think about like that can be seen like as a privilege, right? Like
Mhm.
within a household, if there are there's a brother and sister that
Mhm.
coexist. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, like a part of me is like I can't be mad at the boys because this is generational, like right? Like
Yeah.
when you look at a typical household, the girls are doing certain chores, the boys are doing certain chores. The girls are responsible for certain things, the boys are responsible for certain things. And it's almost like boys can be rambunctious because that's just boys. They need that energy. They need
Yeah.
their, you know what I mean? But they need to get their energy out. But like girls need that too. Um, and I almost am. I'm always curious. Like, why is it that boys their need to like explode and have energy and jump around is nurtured, but enough people don't know about menstrual cycles for women. Like this is something that young girls go through in every household, and enough people don't know enough about it.
Yeah. We have learned so
Like, you
much
know what I mean?
developmentally. Yeah, developmentally we were like, okay, this is what boys need. But also
Yeah.
developmentally we haven't given focus
But
over here.
right, like there's so many men that don't know how many phases a woman goes. Like it's crazy to me. So I say that to say, like, it's interesting to see um, boys be raised with different expectations and understanding, and I also
Yeah.
think it bites them in the butt later. And that's also another thing.
Yeah.
Um, but it just makes me curious because I can't entirely get mad at the guys if they don't know. Like once you're aware, do something about it.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I understand why you were raised that way. Somebody said, no, you don't have to do the dishes. Your sister's going to do it.
Yep.
Or, no, your sister's going to cook. You go cut the grass. So then we have men that don't know how to cook, right? Um, or, don't cry. You're telling boys, don't cry. Like, don't do that. Don't be emotional. Now they don't want to talk about their feelings. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many things that I wonder could have been undone or fixed or healed if we gave both genders the opportunity to feel comfortable in certain situations.
Yeah, definitely. I think that culture also plays such a huge role. Like I think that there's cultures within a family unit, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
some, families generationally they have passed down like this is the culture of our family and so therefore this is the standard. Then I think I love what you brought up of your daughter talking about these are things that I'm seeing on TV. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
really interesting of like the intersection how those two things can come together because
Mm-hmm.
either they could be super conflicting and therefore like pave a way to for things to look differently. Like I'll give an example, the toxic masculinity type of culture that is so portrayed within television. And
Mm-hmm.
so therefore I think that that can be brought into certain spaces and be like this is we're machismo in this house and this is
Mm-hmm.
what we do. But like if you come from a family unit that absolutely has like said no we're not doing that, that intersection where does like a kid go or
Mm-hmm.
how do what do they how do they navigate things next, and it could look different. But that the toxic masculinity thing was something that as I was thinking about like boys, because I think that was something that got brought up in my household like with my stepbrother. I think that he felt this need to be so machismo, and then like undercovering the layers, he was soft, and he just like, and
Mm-hmm.
it was like such a beautiful like attribute to him. And I think that he really just looked to so many other places to have that be nurtured because he was like, I don't want this like this privilege of masculinity and I can get away with everything. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think he genuinely did not want that, and it was really interesting for me to observe.
Oh man, I think that's such a gift, though. I mean, not everybody gets like, not everybody reaches that exposure.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, and I think it's awesome that at some point he felt comfortable being in that space. Why do you think that across the board, daughters and sons are treated differently in the household? Like, what do you think is going through the parent's mind to treat daughters and sons differently?
I think they're treated differently because I think that there can be an assumption that comes into the end goal. I want the end goal for my daughter to be able to succeed and be like great in her life. There's
Mm-hmm.
there's things that maybe are nurtured differently as a woman,
Mm-hmm.
because I have confidence that my son will get to that end goal. But what my son might need is something to be nurtured for him to like lead really well.
What do you mean?
Yeah, like to be successful, I am going to be hard on her as she's, going about her grades. I want her to be a straight A
Mm,
student. I also want her to navigate her emotions really well because I know that the workplace might be really challenging, but I
mm-hmm.
really want her to like be great. And so my
Mm-hmm.
motivation is for her to be great,
Got it.
right? And then end goal for like a boy or like a son that you're raising
Mm-hmm.
is I want him to lead super well. And so for him to lead super well, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to include him in decisions in our lives and have him take those steps to get there. And so if we're like super maybe basic, but as a family we're going to go to eat, and so I'm asking my son where we should go because I'm enabling him to have the tools to make the decision. So I
Mm-hmm.
think there's the motivation is positive and it's there, and how you get to the
Mm-hmm.
end of the motivation I think it looks different.
See, that actually sounds great. So, and the reason I actually explain it like that is like, because ideally, I would want to know that that's where we're going with this. Like, I would want to
Yeah.
know that that's why we're treating sons and daughters differently, but it doesn't always produce that conclusion, right?
Yep.
And so, what I'm seeing is like, we're enabling men to expect women to do the regular things. And even though it might look like, oh, I want him to be a leader, he still has to eat and wash his clothes. Okay. He still needs to do basic things.
Yeah.
Um, Teach him that too. The women in his life should not be responsible for that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, for daughters, teach her how to. I remember my dad used to make me carry a gauge um, for my tire and was like, you're going to check this and you're going to make sure that you know how to do the most basic things. You're going to check
Yeah.
your oil. You're going to make sure you know how to change your tire. Now, do I have to do those things right now? No, I happen to be with a guy who is like, don't touch that gas pump,
I got
right?
it. Yeah.
I happen to be with that guy. But am I ever going to be like stranded looking crazy? No, probably not. Like, you know what I mean? I got to get dirty. I got to do what I got to do.
Yeah.
So I do think that ideally, like, our daughters should know the things. I mean, my dad didn't have a son. I was the one mowing the lawn.
Right.
So,
Honorary.
I mean, hey, like, I was the most, I always like to say, I was the only son my dad was ever going to get, right? I was the one, the athletic one. I was the one that was doing the dirty work, and which is perfectly fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm saying that to say, like, I would love to see more of teaching our sons how to make sure that they know how to live on their own before bringing somebody in and having them, be their in-home help,
Yes.
essentially.
Yeah.
And then I also don't want our daughters helpless, feeling like I need somebody to take care of me, or to change my tires, or to know how to
Mm-hmm.
operate a car, or to know how to, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
at least know how to contract somebody out. You know what I mean? And that's what
Seriously.
I want. Um, so ideally, like, I would love for that to be the end game, what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that that's always executed. Um, and where I also, what I struggle with is, like, having this conversation with men in my life.
Mm.
Beginning of our marriage, CM was, he made a comment about providing. And I remember there was a moment of, like, just, he was hard on himself. And I was like, I mean, okay, we're going to eat, like, we good.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Fast forward, pandemic, and people were losing jobs, and all kind of stuff was happening.
Yeah.
And I remember there was another moment where he was like, okay, got to do this. And we had a conversation, and I had to say to him, I said, like, why are you, like, what's going on? And he was like, I have to make sure we don't run out of this. Like, he was thinking so far ahead. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, we're good. But he was like, but this is my job. Like, this is my thing. And although he has never failed me, he's always been a great provider. I
Yeah.
did say to him, like, I said, hey, somebody did you a disservice to make you
Mm.
think that that's all you are,
Yeah.
because you're doing great. Um, but I also don't think this should kill you. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think that this, like, I still need you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But there's so much that he identified with when it came to things he couldn't even control. Like, a lot of people couldn't control, the job market. A lot of people couldn't control government shutdowns. There was so much. But I just remember, like, saying, like, I'm sorry that this was all you were made out to be. You're so
Yeah.
much more than that. And it made me just think, like, man, I don't want my son. I love that like I said, I love that my husband has a heart to provide and make sure
Yeah.
everything's fine. But I don't want my son thinking like that's all I bring to the table.
Yeah.
I want him to show up, and or not even that that's all that I bring to the table, but that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
Do you
This
know
is
what I
the
mean?
this is the pinnacle thing of my life, and if I don't do this, I've failed everything else, right? As if everything else doesn't
Right.
have value. And I think, like, I love what you're saying, because that motivation is there, but it's like misplaced value in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have so much more value and so much more, like, incredible
Yeah.
things to bring. Like, that's the thing that, like, might fill your cup and make you feel really good, but all your other things are so valuable
Right.
as
Cause
well.
cause homeboy can cook, first of all.
Right. I'm always like, is he grilling or what?
Okay, listen. He's like, and he will.
Right.
That guy gonna be on that pit. But he's great. He's great at so many things. And the funny thing is, like, I'm I'm not the only deep cleaner here at home. Like, I don't mop these gigantic floors. I don't clean our
Right.
carpets like that guy does. So it's like there's so much I'm like, you're great at. But I said that to say, I don't want my son in a space of, this is all I am. I can do so many
Yeah.
things, but this is all I am because I'm a man, and this is
Right.
what men do. You can do that and then just chill and take a break and be other things. Or you can breathe from that and say, okay, let me feed these other things in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Um, so I think that's what I think is the backlash of putting men in this space of, you're a provider and you're a protector. Okay, but does he also deserve space to be emotionally comfortable? Does he also deserve
Mm,
space to feel fed and refreshed? Does he deserve time away?
wow.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Does he
Yeah.
deserve a break? You know, those are things that without being questioned, if something's wrong with him or if he's weak, like
Yeah.
can he sit down somewhere and be fine?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's heavy. That's heavy. On the daughter side, because I'm very curious about that side. No knock to the fellas,
No, go for it.
um, but I was thinking about these two things that feel very polar to each other. Um, like to this motivation of women to be like successful or daughters to be successful in life, knowing you're gonna go out in the world one day, you're gonna leave this family. All the language that's used around that, and so that motivation of being successful, and also I think there's attached independence to that. I think that there can be motivations that could come through that, but then how we get to that point is I think that daughters can be more prioritized. The perception could be they're more prioritized and they're more protected. And I think what's
Mm,
interesting about that is that if our motivation then becomes like she has individuality and she can take care of herself and like that she's good, what happens when she gets there and she no longer wants to feel like that because I think that protected and prioritized can feel like what's the word I'm looking for, helicopter parenting, right?
okay.
And so I think it's just that idea is curious to me because they seem the motivation to get to the end, but then how we get there actually doesn't seem productive or helpful to actually get to that motivation.
Do you mean like it's enabling?
Yeah, I think that
So,
that's a great, yeah.
okay. So, like, you mean like the way that we come alongside women and like, you know, we kind of put them in this, like, she's gentle, like, protect her. That's enabling. And then we expect her to be like big boss dog later.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly
Okay.
it.
See, well, yeah, I'm tracking. Okay. I'm going to prevent a tangent, but
Yes.
that's, that goes back to not correcting men from jump, because why do we need to coddle women so much? Why do we need to protect them? Why do we need to like to walk them on the inside of the street? Why do we need to make sure they don't stay out at late at night? Why do we need to make sure that they have a weapon with them? Because there are men
Yeah.
that exist, not all, but
For sure.
always, right? What is it?
Yeah.
It's like not all men, but always a man.
Yes.
I like to say not all men, but enough of them to where there's such a standard that we are now teaching our little girls how to protect themselves against men. We're
Yeah.
like, hey, protect yourself against men, but also marry a man and have kids with him. But you got to choose. You got to sift it out to see which one is safe. And then
Yeah.
sometimes that's the worst one. Now you got a baby. I don't know. See my tangent. But I say
No,
all
it's
that to
good.
say, like, I already have an issue with how we protect women or how we hold women, because are we valuing them or are we protecting them against what we've already built on the other side of toxic men? Like,
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
we instead or alongside, are we correcting the guys that they're growing up with and saying, hey, no means no, and no,
Yeah.
you're not gonna always get the girl, and no, she doesn't owe you anything, and you know what I mean? Like, are we doing that? Are we teaching men to respect their female friends? Are we teaching them to coexist without expecting them to, you know, what I mean? So
Yeah.
there's so much, and that's like I said, that's my mom brain. That's like the life I've been through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the like the okay, back in the day. And there are a lot of women my age, and I'm sure younger, that can attest to this. So like there were so many times where we would be in the club, like back when we actually danced in the club and it was actually good music and we were
Right.
there for a good time. Um, a guy would be like, "Hey, like, do you have can I have your phone number?" And we would have a number that was specifically a fake number hotline,
Yep.
and all of us girls memorized it, and we would give out that number.
Yep.
The guys got smart after a while, and like they would call the number and it would be like, this is a fake number, like she don't want to talk to you, whatever. It had
Right.
different messages, but the point is we knew that we needed to produce a number, because a lot of these guys would be like, oh, so I can't just have your number? Oh, so you, and it would just be this like almost aggressive, verbally aggressive situation. So you're
Mm-hmm.
like, to prevent that, let me give him my number. Let me get out of the way.
Yeah.
After a while, these guys got smart and they started dialing the number in front of us.
Yeah.
It's only funny. It's only funny because I could imagine like the rejection, the way they felt. But it was also scary, like, oh shoot, because now I gotta go to the bathroom. I gotta get out of here. Girl, we gotta leave. But these were the spaces that this is the stuff we had to do. This is what we were prepared for. Why did that number
Yeah.
have to exist? Why do we have to have that routine? Because there were guys that were raised by parents
Yeah.
that didn't teach them, like, this is not the way you go about that.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Not
Man.
all. I mean,
Not a
but
but
enough.
but enough.
Enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When it comes to raising, you had your daughter first and your son came second. When you were pregnant with your son or whenever, like, did you have a moment where you had to really sit down and think about like considerations of these like two different privileges or things that are put out in the world? Like, did you have a moment where you're like, oh wow, like I really need to sit and like thoroughly think through these things?
No, because having a daughter and of course being a woman, I'm treated so well by my husband. I knew my son was going to have to fit into this.
Yeah.
Like either he was going to see his dad treat us a certain way or he was going to realize how to treat her regardless. I don't think it was different from either or, like, either gender. But I mean, like realistically it is, you know what I mean? There's going to be things I'm going to teach him or have him understand. But off the bat, we supported how much he loved her and we
Mm-hmm.
also needed her to respect him.
Yeah.
Like I do understand the difference between how men and women receive things, right? Like
Yep.
I do understand that. She needed love as far as like she liked, to be loved on.
Mm-hmm.
Him, like, he wanted to be respected. It was
Yeah.
as simple as, hey, don't mess up the 100 dinosaurs that I have right here. And just please, you don't have to talk to me. You don't have to hug me. Just don't. Right. And we
Right.
know my son, you got to ask him if you can hug him.
Yes.
And he's like, I don't know, I'm just not feeling it. But a high
Yeah.
five is pretty, give me a fist bump. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So we understood, like, as he grew, we understood that. I don't, but I tried really hard not to be so different.
Mm-hmm.
Because I also like asked him the same questions I asked her. Do you feel emotional right now? Is there an emotion you're experiencing? Are you
Mm.
sad? It's okay to be sad. You can sit in that. But when, if you want me to cheer you up, I can, but I'm not changing the punishment.
Yeah.
You did
Yeah.
do that. And I would be sad too if I did that because that wasn't the right thing to do.
Yeah.
We had what I call a cry chair. Everybody got a sitting that had to sit in that cry chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, feel free to cry right there. Don't run behind me and cry. And I don't want you to feel like you can't cry, but there
Yeah.
is a designated area so that you know to take time away, have your feelings, and come back and join us when you're done. They
Mm-hmm.
both got that same opportunity and exposure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that. I love that I mean, you had so I love that you always say like I'm just trying to create really great humans. Like
That's
just
that's
right
really it.
like this really
Because I'm
like
giving this to the world. What I can't throw y'all some crap people. Like
yeah.
I can't sleep good at night
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest, like the only thing I think is different to my son, possibly if he decides to get married, I'm gonna have a daughter-in-law. I know how that feels to be a daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
My goal, specifically for him, is to make sure that he knows how to treat her and
Yeah.
that she knows she can have a direct relationship with me and she does not have to feel like, any way with him. Right.
Yeah.
So like that, I'm intentional with him now. I think I told you, he was like, oh, you're the best. You're the best cook. Oh, your food is best. I said, no, it's not. It's
Yeah.
not though. I said, it's good.
Right.
I'm plenty of people think it's good. It ain't the best. I said, you think it's the best because it's tailored towards you. You think
Yeah.
it's the best because I know how you like this. You think it's the
Mm-hmm.
best. I said, but there is going to be a woman in your life one day, and
Mm,
she's going to tailor it towards you too. If that's what you guys, if she's the one
yeah.
cooking, and she's going to be the best cook, and I'm going to throw my hands up, and I'm going to say, girl, come on,
Right. What
right?
about me?
Girl,
Yeah.
I'm hungry too, but I'm like, I tell him that now. And he's like, in his mind, he's probably like, girl, it's not that serious, mom. I just really like your macaroni and cheese. But I need him to know that now
Hmm.
because I don't want a mama's boy.
Yeah.
My husband doesn't want a daddy's girl. I don't want, and I don't want the toxic pieces of it. I'll say that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think the beautiful thing of even just how I've seen the two of you parent is like you're so intentional about like your, we'll call them like grassroots, like your little grass
Mm-hmm.
shoots, and it's across the board for every single one of them. Like it's for all
Mm-hmm.
of your kids, and I think when you say it out loud, it sounds so basic, but like
Mm-hmm.
when you really sit back and you think about your own siblings and like the way that you grew up as a daughter or as a
Mm-hmm.
son or however your family system looked, you
Mm-hmm.
quickly realized maybe your grassroots all did look different. So you
Mm-hmm.
had a garden that was purple and red flowers, and your garden was all blue flowers,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that looks like. But I
Mm-hmm.
love that you have a golden thread between all your kids when it comes to parenting. I think that's really incredible and something like so great for parents to
Mm-hmm.
think about. And that's as somebody who doesn't have kids, it's something I can take away and be like, okay, like maybe I don't need to over index on this like so
Yeah.
much to be like read all the books and do all the things, but are you taking this basic consideration really?
Yeah. And I think if you think that way, like of course I know how to live in the moment, but if I put myself in what's this going to look like in 10, 15 years, I have to be intentional.
Yeah.
Do I want them on a therapy couch talking about how bad of a parent I was? You know what I mean? Or where they felt they couldn't be comfortable talking about something, or where they felt
Mm,
one child was favored, right? Like that's why I can't get with the like I'll say the obsessive parts about like my, mama's boy and like daddy's girl. Like I've seen in my life where like the mama's boy thing has just reached a man's marriage the way it shouldn't, right?
yeah.
Like I don't want to have such a tied relationship with my son that now his wife feels like she's competing. Girl, no.
Yeah.
I'm out. What you want me to do? You want me to I'll disappear for Thanksgiving. In our close, family, I think you and I have seen where boys get treated better.
Yep.
Um, and that hurts, I think, as the person having to see it, the extension of the person is like, man, like why does he get the privilege to be right? Or why does he get the
Yeah.
privilege to be understood? What do you think about that?
I hate it. That's my quick answer.
Very direct.
Yeah. I think that there is where I struggle is like within this like trade off, I guess you could call it, is like
Mm-hmm.
I did show up emotionally intelligent the way that I was supposed to and the way that I was taught. And I showed up
Mm-hmm.
that I have flexibility in navigating our family and all of these things, but I still get everything wrong. And they still get the bonus of
Yeah.
just doing the basic thing of showing up. Like they're not helping take care of things. They're not,
Mm-hmm.
contributing, to the family in whatever way contribution looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been super hard for me because what that narrative has told me is that no matter what you do, you're never going to be able to be good enough to be in like
Mm-hmm.
this right standing in my
Oh,
life. Right. And so for me,
oh,
it's
that
been super
hurts.
complicated as well because I'm like, I'm just the kid. Like I'm just trying to
Yeah.
exist, And so it is really interesting too to see that like the generation above me is all the boys in that family all had girls first, but
Yeah.
majority of them had brothers. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm like, y'all just didn't even take the time to figure out like how to show up for the girls
Mm-hmm.
who are just like trying to be good humans.
Mm, dang,
Yeah.
that sucks. I think that happens. I feel like on my side, um, the boys get And I think they know it. Oh, the boys, they get such a pass for things that I think the girls get harshly judged on, right?
As we're thinking about these privileges that daughters and sons get, I'm like, if you don't, what, cut the tail or however the saying goes, like for your kid, that's not helpful for their kid because you're just going to
No.
be like generationally bringing down hot mess express and nobody needs that. Yeah. So I definitely just with my own reality, I'm like, ooh, y'all should have been cut off a long time ago because my life could look very different.
That's true. No, and you're making a good point. Like, the more you think about it, what are things that, oh, golly, like, what are things that you feel you learned as like a daughter that you're trying to actively deal with if you have a daughter? You know what I mean?
Yeah. The at the beginning of the episode when you first brought up what your daughter had talked to you about, that was very humbling for me because I think that I've had such an insecurity as a woman that I'm like had this fear about having a daughter. Like that I straight up was like I let something into my life that made me be like, "Ooh, I want to have a son." Because I like womanhood for me was very like growing up awkward, uncomfortable. It was very complex and so that was challenging for me. But I think now I'm so open. I'm like, if that's what God gives me as a daughter, amazing. But I think that, things that I really want to nurture is this idea of like true independence that does not look like you have to have something attached to me as your mother. Like woman to woman, I don't want you to feel like your independence, your successes, like the things that you accomplish in your life are not attached to me. And I also want her to feel that she truly has that emotional affirmation from me. Not in a
Oh, wow.
shallow way because like we're just supposed to do that. Like not that like truly like when my mom says she's proud of me or that she's like really gonna ride for me when things are really bad, I believe her. Like I think that's
Wow.
something that like I think about a lot is like, are my actions and are my words believable to my daughter, my future daughter?
Ooh. Mm,
And then I also don't want my daughter to ever feel like she has to take care of me, ever.
that, I'm with you.
Like,
Oh
if
my God,
we
I'm with you.
nurture this beautiful relationship and it's super dope, and, we come to that conversation one day, it will never be from you have to do this. If
Oh, no,
that's
it wouldn't
something
be
that
a requirement. Yes.
no, no.
Yes.
Yeah. So those are like the three things that really come top of mind for me.
So good.
What
So
about
good.
you?
I almost wish I would have asked you sooner. No, I'm gonna piggyback off that last one. I don't require that of my children at all. Look, I hope I get dementia of all things. You don't even have to come visit me. Live your life, big dog.
Yes.
I'm very much ready for that. But just things that I learned as things that I felt like were kind of pressed upon me as a daughter. Was this like nurturing aspect of what you have to do or how you have to show up for men. That because I think I come from a family, they're very traditional,
Yeah.
very like Christian based, right? And this is what you do for your husband. And this is what you're like. I learned so much about what to do for my husband. I learned less about what to do for myself. Like
Crazy.
I didn't know enough about my body, sex, pleasure, confidence, intimacy, mental health, self awareness. I didn't know about
Yeah.
that stuff, but I knew I was supposed to cook, clean, and look good, and the bedroom is undefiled. Like I was, you make sure you take care of him. I learned
Right.
all of
Right.
that. I learned that I was supposed to save myself into a marriage, but
Wow.
I didn't learn me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
although my mom probably is like cringe right now. My daughter, my suggestion to her is not the same things that were suggested to me.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily feel like you should feel like you want to save yourself until marriage unless that's something you decide. I will never press that upon my daughters.
Yeah.
My goal is, hey, focus on yourself, get to know yourself, because I want them to understand what they're dealing with before being with somebody else. I
Yes.
think that if we're not educating our children enough, they're going to figure it out some kind of way, or they're going to end up in a relationship and they're going to still be curious because they don't know what they don't know. Me and
Yeah.
my husband both came from spaces where it wasn't talked about enough. So thankfully, we're in a relationship where we're learning, we learned each other.
Yeah.
But I don't think
Yeah.
everybody has that privilege. I think there
Yep.
are so many women that go into this relationship thinking that all they are is a server for these men, and they don't know that they deserve intimacy. They don't know that they deserve pleasure. They don't know that they
Mm-hmm.
deserve to know their body,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
So just had to take it there.
I
My
love it.
daughters will know that they come first, and that's helpful for everybody. If
Yes.
you know your body, you know what to tell this guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's your husband or whoever, your life partner, whatever that looks like. If
Yep.
you know your body, you know to tell somebody, hey, my cycle is about to kick my butt. I gotta be by myself, right?
This is what it's gonna look like. Boom, boom,
This
boom.
is what
Yeah.
it's gonna look like. If you know your body and you know your mind, hey, I'm struggling with this right now. It's not you, it's me, and I'm trying to heal.
Yes.
Everything about them knowing themselves is gonna help whoever else comes in their lives.
Yeah.
So I'm less about teaching my daughters to serve other people, more serving themselves. That to me is the best thing. When it comes
Yeah.
to my son, my biggest thing is awareness. Like even now, he'll argue with the little roommate, and she'll like yell at him. She'll be like, "No!" And that second no is where I ask him, "Was the first no not clear?" And he's like, "Excuse me, mom." And I'm like, "I don't care what it is. Respect her no.
Yeah.
I need
Yeah.
you. No, I don't care who it is. Respect a no when you hear it.
Yep. Yep.
Learn to walk away. Not every situation is going to be, a potential sexual harassment issue. No.
Totally.
But I need you to get it in your head now. Respect a no and know when to walk away. Because I need you to know that I don't want you to be trigger happy anywhere. I don't want you to feel like you have to press somebody. I don't want you to get angry about something. I want you
Yeah.
to know when to walk away and when to leave people alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's so good.
I don't promote with him. Like I know you're just asking about daughters, but like specifically
No,
with,
no, no.
I
Both. Yeah.
don't, for him, I don't need him to think that he can fight everybody. I need him to know how to protect himself, but I don't need him to know
Yes.
to feel like he got to go into every situation. I'm a man and no,
Right. Mm-mm.
and thankfully I have a husband who is very much like quiet
Yeah.
until he's not.
Yeah. That man's presence alone will do it for me. He don't gotta say nothing. Yeah.
Like he is very much, he's fun. He's all fun and games.
He is.
You don't want that click. You know what I mean? Like that like switch.
Yep.
And so that's my TED talk.
Yes. No, that is so good. That's so good on so many levels. I just love, again, you have this undercurrent of awareness that shows up for both your kids. Like I'm not to like nail home the same thing I nailed home earlier, but you're bringing it up again. So I'm like, hey, one time important, twice definitely important. Yeah. But I love something that I've noticed myself do is for like people that I've dated who do have siblings, I'm like, again, it's always like, where do you sit in your siblings if you find out eventually and all those things, and then asking about the sibling dynamic, because that's very telling about how you interact with your siblings, but also how your parents interacted with your siblings, because usually that's the info that comes out, and it's a good thing to like take into consideration so that when you do get to a point, say it becomes your forever like life partner, like, okay, because I do know about your life, this is what I need to bring in conversation about if we have a kid together, so I love that's the piece that I bring to it, because I'm like, parenting, Lord, it's gonna be great one day. But
Okay, I have a question for you then. Like, and we'll end on whatever answer you give me.
Deal. Deal. This makes me nervous, but deal.
Is it a red flag if you meet your potential life partner and you guys are going, everything is good, and you're like, he's it, he checks all the boxes, but then I don't know, meet his family for Thanksgiving, and he sits down at the table and his sisters and mom serve him. What now? What's going through your mind? And he's just sitting there like, wait, is that a white flag? What are you waving?
This is gray, but it's red.
Okay,
That
I was
is,
like, what do
here we
you?
go.
I was like, the people. Oh, a red pen.
Red
Okay, she has a
pin,
red
red
pen,
pin.
guys.
That is an absolute red flag because what I'm about to do, I'm about to look at you dead in your face about, are you going to come serve me at this table? No way. That's wild for me to say. But I do think that
No, yeah, but that's
yeah,
happens. That's an expectation in a
it
lot of
is.
households,
It
and
is. I find that to be a red flag because it is an unspoken expectation that you might not be at
mm,
that phase of your life with that person yet, but you can
mm,
already see that they're so comfortable with that thing. Right. And so
mm-hmm.
for me, oh, yeah, that would be a huge red flag for me. And that's something that post Thanksgiving, I absolutely would address. And like, I think
Noted.
no, yeah, exactly. And I'm like, and if I were to sit at the table and his mom or his sister was gonna try to serve me, I would stop her right there and be like, I got this. Like, I'm grown.
Yeah.
I'm fully capable.
Mm-hmm.
Not that we need to like teach a lesson at, your family's Thanksgiving,
No, but
but yeah,
it's an important thing to navigate because how long has this been going on, and why is this automatic, and where are you expecting me to play a part,
yeah. Because my next
and how
question
long
then,
y'all been serving him? Yeah,
yeah, my next question becomes that of like, is this normal for your family? What is it that you do for if your sister and your mom did this for you, what's the thing that you're doing for them? That's my
right.
next
What
question.
is it? Right now, are you about to go take all of their cars to the gas station and fill it up right now? Like, what is
Right.
the trade off? I see what
Are
you're saying.
you doing all of the dishes post
Yes.
Thanksgiving? The likely
Yeah.
answer is
What
no.
is the
Like,
thing? Exactly. No,
yeah.
I
Yes.
see, but I like that you're asking the question to give the benefit of the doubt.
Yes. Yeah.
I've
Because I'm
just
like,
noticed that that's a thing, and I'm like,
it's bizarre. Yeah.
that's
Because
because
it's
that's so old school to me. Like that's what my family expects. Like I've never done that to my husband. Like
yeah. No way. No way. They're
no, one
like,
time he broke his foot, and I made his
oh,
foot. He was on crutches. That was it. But that was like the
that's
only
it.
time.
Right. Like
I
there
said okay.
if it's convenient for me and I could literally just hit a 180 and you're right there, here you
Hmm.
go. But like to really
Yes, that's
intentionally
different
like
though.
let me portion it out,
You
do all the
sit
like
down.
that's the and I
Mm-hmm.
think about that is like this person has so like your mom or your sister has so many thoughts in their head about your preferences. No
Mm.
way. Like there cuz you
And
can't
then now
convince
yours,
me.
Jasmine. You need to learn this
Yikes.
behavior. I'm just kidding. I'm
I
being
know.
messy because
No,
I
this is
know that some people, I've seen a lot of old school relationships that still do that, and that's perfectly fine. This
yeah.
day and age, I do think it's legitimate to ask, what's the trade off
Yeah.
and what's the expectation? Because now I'm wondering, do you expect me to fall in line? And
Yeah.
if I don't, if this isn't something I do, are we like, is this a non-negotiable? You know what I mean? Can we
Mhm.
fix
Mhm.
this? So
Yes. Yes.
I
No,
don't
that
know.
was that was a
Had
good
to be, I had to be a little messy at the end because you know what I mean.
for the visual
I've been looking
listeners.
forward to these stories
I
with you.
know. I know. And my face be like, "Lord, help me." No, that was good. That was good because I this is the stuff I like talking about and I love thinking
Hmm.
about because it puts me in a different mindset that I'm not in and it challenges me. It challenges the way that I have to reflect and think about like oh, what are the bonuses that I got of just like being a daughter
Hmm.
or but also like what are the downfalls that I got? What do I want to bring forward? Like
Hmm.
so I'm so grateful of you just sharing so many of like of your experiences always because it really takes me to a place that I'm like, one, how dope do we get to do life together? But then also it
I
challenges
know.
me to be like, dang, I didn't think about that. It's good. It's
It's like,
really
oh
good.
shoot, oh
Right.
shoot, this is hard, right?
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
No, I love it, and I'm thankful. And these conversations are always fun. And being transparent is definitely probably my favorite. Just because if somebody else can learn from all the craziness that I deal with on a day to day basis with these roommates, then let's let's do it. Um,
Absolutely.
you guys, thank you for coming alongside us for yet another conversation. We can't wait to hear your thoughts, and we look forward to seeing you guys.
All right. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.